That was all without a metronome, just to test how much I've improved with the spider walk. It seems like the practice has paid a little bit of dividends. Now we're gonna go into some BPM shit. I'm gonna try starting at 160 and just start maintaining those high speeds. Usually I start at the default of this program, that is 120. We're gonna go double speed. Alright, we're gonna do the two hits. want to call it the chromatic flavoring or the chromatic scale version of it, but I think it's already in chromatic scale. Basically, it's just all the same. It's all of the notes. I think I might have explained this some other time, but there's this unique shape you can make. I guess this might be what the real chromatic scale is, if you think of it in scale shapes, or like in terms of pentatonic boxes, and you apply that to chromaticism. See, usually what happens when you learn guitar is you start with the pentatonic box shapes, and then you learn like the major scale, and then at some point it occurs to you that the scale is not these shapes, it is these order of intervals. And basically, when I started messing around with the chromatic scale consciously, I had already internalized that notion. So I didn't learn chromatic scale in terms of like a scale shape, which kind of sounds silly. I just kind of just played all the notes, kind of like in a Kurt Cobain-esque, like when he just molests the guitar. You know what I'm talking about. But there is this sort of chromatic scale shape where it's like you go down a string and down a half step, and then you can just like maintain the natural order of notes. So it'd be like B sharp, or B, C. There's no B sharp. D flat, D, E flat, E, and so on and so forth. By doing this descending shape, and you can play all the notes, and then you kind of can do the spider walk with that weird shape, which is like a backwards diagonal, but it's interesting because it maintains the ascent. Like it's as if you're just playing all the notes on the string, like, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna do that up and down a couple times. I think that is an interesting. I don't know if someone told me that or if I figured that out myself. Oops. So I think what I gotta do is I'm gonna go up and then down, so it maintains that that continual natural note progression. So I might go up and down the fretboard with that. Alright. So that is different from going. Instead, we were actually maintaining the order of the 12-tone Western music theory arrangement of notes. You know, A to G sharp. So rather than dun 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 dun, it's like dun 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 dun, like all the way up, as if you're just playing all of the notes on a string. what's the problem with that one though? Is that you kind of have to start on A. I don't know if that's a problem. It's just another factor of it. Because you can't really do that descending diagonal on like any of the first four frets. Alright. I think we did enough spider walk today. I'm gonna go into this arpeggio practice we've been working on. And so I'll see if I can try and nail it the first go around with the whole circle of fifths and everything. So it starts on C. I'll go slow because I need to go slow. And I'll put it at a 60 BPM and try to see if I can keep in a somewhat reasonable rhythm to it. Oops. Hold up, hand on a tune. Let me tune up. I was like, did I play a wrong note? I was like, no, it's out of tune. That's what's interesting is that for the whole spider walk, it really doesn't matter if you're in tune or not, because you're practicing a different kind of skill. Now we're doing the 4-note arpeggio shape, the major 7th shape. And we're gonna go through the circle of fourths. Now honestly, I could probably turn up the speed a tiny bit, but I'll turn up to 70. It seems like a little slow. Alright. To F. So we gotta work on this. The main thing that's tricky is they have these triple gaps and these double gaps. Or maybe you can call sometimes I like to call the double gap like the pentatonic jump. And I think that potentially is not the smartest way of thinking about it, but that is a good colloquialism. Let's say if you're playing with someone who primarily relies on the pentatonic, and maybe they have a little bit of understanding of the major scale and like its modes. If you're trying to communicate like how to get into dominant scales and like dominant pentatonics or whatever, then you have to like find a way to describe that double gap, I guess. I'm sure if you like studied music theory, there's some nerd term for it, but I think in music you need a lot of colloquialisms. So you could call that the pentatonic jump is the double gap. The triple gap, I don't know what you could call that. The triple gap probably works. But that exists in like the dominant pentatonic, and it exists in these 4-note arpeggio shapes too. And so what's tricky is trying to remember where it's the pentatonic jump, the double gap, and where it's the triple gap. Alright, well, let's return to that. I'll try and do it a little faster. I don't need to do it that slow, but I'll do 80. Go back to C and see if we can get this. F. I lost it. But we're just gonna keep working on this. Wait, is that not a triple gap? That looks like it's a. Oh, it is a triple gap. I was about to say, is that like a quadruple gap? It's not. But you do go up a whole step, and so it's like almost looks like a quadruple gap for a split second, but you got to go down a half step. All right, I'm gonna pick it up at F. And then I think it goes to B flat. Try that again. Try that again. One more. Fuck. So then it becomes E flat, and if I remember correctly, we need to do a little bit of a bend. Let's try that again. That bend, I could do the bend, but after I do it, I'm like, wait, where am I? Am I going up? Am I going down? Like, what am I doing? Fuck. Alright, we got it this time. E flat. We did it. to A flat. This is a good way to memorize the order of fifths and fourths, honestly. Like, doing this exercise really forces me to memorize it even more. And we also get to practice the arpeggio shapes, which is important. Fuck. Fuck. It's a triple gap. A flat, we go. We fucked up the last note. Do you want to do it again? I can do it. And then after A is did E flat, we did A flat. Is it D flat? Only people who are like really, 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 really based, listen to BORIS, the Japanese drone metal band, of which we are all familiar with. Text from the bro. Speaking of the bro, if you are so inclined, you want some YouTube boxing in your feed, and you want to get like top 100 anime characters, head on down to the homeboy Ayazi XXX's channel. There's some good shit for you. So, we did A flat, we did D flat. Is it G flat? Yeah, it is G flat. Let me try that again. Let me turn on the metronome again. Alright. The music is throwing off my metronome. Alright, here we go. Alright, and then, okay, so we did start from C, went to F, then we went to B flat, then we went to E flat, then we went to A flat, then we went to D flat, just did G flat, and then G flat to, alright, I can totally get this. I'm not going to look this up. G flat. Is it to E now? Like, are we back to just the natural notes? Alright. That's G flat. That's E. Is that right? I'm going to have to look it up. But if I guessed right, then I'll take that as a victory. Oh, Booyakasha, Booyakasha. I was wrong. Okay, we go to B. We go to B and then we go to E. And now we do E. And E is a big problem because on E flat we have to bend for the last note, but it's kind of doable. But E, we have to do like this double bend because we have to bend to one note and then we have to bend to another note. And that requires some high level musicianship, of which I am obviously holy shit, I got it the first go around, of which I am obviously fully capable of because I am a high level musician. Just try and get that a little cleaner. Definitely got that bend, but the descend is a little wonky too because there's another bend in the descend. But what I could do is trying to make a new shape than the guy wants me to do. But fuck. Alright. Alright, that's E. Then we go to A. The natural notes now. Alright, that's what I was missing. The metronome. One more. And then to D. Oh shit, I shouldn't be looking at it. But let's see if I can quickly do the order. It is F, C, G, D, A, E, B. That is the order of sharps. The order of flats is B, E, A, D, G, C, F. You know what? Maybe the nerds. So understanding the sharps and flats is pretty important if you're trying to play the piano. Because then when you try to transpose a major scale into a different key, you really need to know that shit. However, when you are playing the guitar, it's always going to be the same shape, whether there are sharps or flats or natural notes or whatever, right? So this is D major, B major, G major, G flat major. It's all the same shit. It's the same shape, essentially. However, if you are trying to start dissecting information about what you are playing, and also try to implement like the circle of fifths and or like we're using the circle of fourths in this exercise we're doing, right? And so if you memorize that, you can, for one, you can do some things, but you'd also get more analytical about the notes you're playing. Like, okay, there's a sharp 9 in there, and oh, look at this flat fifth, or whatever the fuck. But it's definitely more important if you are a piano player, because you actually create different shapes. Because you have to like account for using the black keys and the white keys. That was D. After D is G. G. Nothing but a G thing. And then, if I'm correct, I think that brings us back to C. So, I'll see if I can go through that in one go. That's what we're going to try to work for. So this is what our goal is with the arpeggio practice. We're going to try to make it through the whole circle of fourths and fifths with the major seventh shape that we've been working on. And then we're going to have to start putting in the minor seventh shape too. But I kind of don't want to do that until I get the major seventh down, which, you know what, I think I've learned something about how to practice. It's not really how I would have practiced before. I would have just been like banging my head against the wall on each of the different things. But we're just going to try to get the circle of fourths with the major seventh shape down, and then I'm going to start incorporating the minor seventh shape into our daily practice. Alright. C to F. Fuck. Fuck. B flat. To A flat, right? E flat. A flat. D flat. Fucker. Fuck. Jesus. G flat. Fucker. Holy shit. Kumbaya. Let me send a prayer right quick up to the heavens. Let me nail this next G flat arpeggio. Alright. You didn't answer my prayer, God. What the fuck? Alright. G flat to D now. Now we're in the natural notes. To E flat with the bend. Or to E, actually, with the double bend. Oh, man, this shit's hard. Don't judge me. See, okay, so here's what's hard about this fucking E shape. For one, the fretboard doesn't reach as high as I need it to. That dude has more frets than I do, which is some bullshit. I'm about to have to talk to somebody about that. What the fuck, God? Why do you give this dude more frets? And then the other thing is that even after then when we come here, we need another bend. So I think what we could try to do, if we remember for this E shape, and this is going to be a bitch to remember, instead of trying to go up at the A string, we can try going down. But consistency makes it easier to learn. The fact we got to have that little fucking change right there is pretty obnoxious. But we already got to do the double bend, so fuck it. E is special. Yeah, I think that's the move with the downward note there. After E is A. Down to, hold on, B, E, A, D. And so D is a pretty comfy one because it's perfect. It's like the highest note. Whereas E flat, you gotta bend, and then E, just normal E, is a bitch because it's like a double bend. That's comfy right there. Da, da, it's perfect. Goes right up to that highest note. after D goes to G. Alright. And then after G, we're back to C then. Alright. I think that's right. Cool, so we made it around twice. We're just gonna keep doing that every day until we could just like do it like super quick, like the dude in the video. And then we're gonna be like getting tons of hoes. You're gonna be like, wow, you can do the arpeggio practice. So I think we'll try, we'll do some modal shit. We were gonna do the natural minor scale today. Otherwise known as the Aeolian. Which is pretty important. Maybe I'll try and watch a video about it. Maybe if I can learn some secrets of the Aeolian scale that I haven't thought of before. Because it's the natural minor and the natural major. There's a lot of, or I don't know if they call it the natural major, but you get what I'm saying. There's a lot of nuances to the scales that people play all the time. Like minor scale, all right, secrets. That's always the secret you never thought of in the minor scale. Like, did you know there is a major 7? They're like, what? There isn't a major 7. There's a minor 7. Because it's the minor scale. But there is a major 2nd for some reason. 5 secrets of minor. What nobody teaches you about the minor scale. That's exactly up my alley.
Guitar. We either learn the minor pentatonic or maybe some minor scale runs, a few licks.
Look at this bald-headed freak. I hope I don't turn out like that.
But hardly anyone knows all of the unique opportunities that minor scale can offer. In this video, I'm going to show you a few minor scale secrets that you can start using right away. And if you are quite limited with the scale now, these ideas will help you fix any minor scale confusion with 5 important long-term solutions.
Come on, dude. Let's get into it.
Your chord riff is going to be minor, creates a 2-whole step major sound. But if you drop the distance down to become a step and a half, we end up with a G traveling to a B flat, and this sound is actually minor. Once you understand what it is that creates minor in a scale or in a chord, another secret I want to teach you that's hardly ever discussed is how the minor scale is used to create chord progressions. Now, this area of minor scale application is hardly ever discussed between a teacher and a guitar student, but it's vital to using the scale in melodic situations, and it involves understanding what the chords are that exist within what's known as the minor key harmony. Now, minor key harmony involves the construction of chords on every step of the minor scale. In the scale, let's say of A minor, we have 7 chords for every step of the minor scale. They are going to be A minor root, B diminished, second step, the third step C major, the fourth step is D minor, the fifth step is E.
I don't need this nerd shit. We're just gonna get right into it. up with some simple ass minor scale loop. Probably not the best sound effect. Just do this classic sound. pentatonic sounds so good over this, so I'll keep slipping into it. bathroom real quick. I'm gonna come back. And I'm gonna make another loop that's more shredded. That kind of ended up being our pentatonic practice. Okay. I didn't record that solo I did, but it's gonna be in the practice, and that's all that matters. I'll just save that 122-23 Aeolian Jam. We're gonna try to do some shreddy stuff in the natural minor. See, I want to do the Phrygian, which has the minor second. But you got to be able to come up with something in minor. They got this diminished chord. Right on the second. your door in. That's some pretty basic shit right there, but you know what? That pretty much works. So fuck it. Try to like that makes the chord harder, but so I have to do this. I think I might put a tiny bit too much distortion. No such thing. No such thing. We'll get it next time. Tomorrow we're doing a lock game, so I'm gonna do a deep dive into Diminish. I think one of those might have looped up. Forgetting to record these solos. We'll go through that again. think we're making a little bit of progress on the 4-note per string idea every day. It's kind of, I feel like I get lost around the G and B string sometimes. Because it's like you have to do this thing where it's like you jump a string and you have to, well, obviously if you got it really down, you don't have to guess. But it's sort of like it's up in the air whether or not it's a minor second or a major second. And so sometimes it's like, sometimes it's, and then you could throw the whole scale off if you pick wrong. But the 4-note per string thing, I'm getting good at it. Well, it's all relative. I think if I get that down, that'd be good to have in my arsenal. But I think it's tougher to actualize on that if you don't have good sweep picking technique. So maybe I should get into the sweep picking game. And we're gonna load up my homeboy Bernth. Shout out to Bernth. That dude's a legend. "10-minute beginner sweep picking workout."
Today we're gonna work on our sweep picking skills together.
So sweep picking, as you can hear, is when you're doing you know what I mean? All those fucking like Dragon Force, Through the Fire and the Flames. How do they play all those notes? Well, they're sweep picking.
This is a play-along workout video, and that means that you will be practicing together with me in a minute. Please check out the difference between sweep picking and alternate picking with me real quick. As you can see, you're not picking the strings individually.
Right. And so alternate picking is up and down, or sweep picking. And if you can like get your fingers to go in these complicated scale patterns, then you can shred like really beautifully with that. But I've always had trouble with sweep picking.
So practice goal number 1 is avoiding those individual picking strokes between the strings and changing that to a fluid gliding or sweeping motion. And practice goal number 2 is learning today's minor, major and diminished arpeggio shapes. In order to really speed them up later on, you want to focus on your left.
Alright, and so this is good. This is going to play along. So he's saying we're going to use the minor, major and diminished arpeggios to practice sweep picking. And so we've been practicing the major arpeggio. Well, we've been doing the major 7 arpeggio, which is the 4-note, you know, what we've been doing with the. But you might be thinking about the more simpler 3-note arpeggios, which I'm a little bit better at.
As close to the fretboard as possible during the entire practice session, so there's no flying pinky finger allowed or anything like that. One last thing before we start practicing, then I will shut up for 10 minutes. You can download this entire workout video for offline access, the PDF tabs and the guitar profiles on patreon.com/Bernd. I also uploaded some really helpful backing tracks for you without my guitar. That way you can practice the entire workout in much slower and in much faster tempos, and you can study each exercise in detail with the PDF tabs and guitar profiles before you attempt the full workout. Enough talk, let's work on our sweep picking skills together now.
Alright, here we go. He has all the shit set up. 2, 3, 4. So yeah, it looks like he's doing a 4-note arpeggio. Alright. Wait a sec. Hold it. Wait a minute. No, that's a 3-note arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, and that's the octave 4. So that is not 4-note. That's 3-note. I think I know where he's going with this. He's gonna make us do like the minor and then to the major arpeggio. Bum 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 dun 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 bum 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 bum. And I'm doing that wrong because I'm doing an alternate pick. But yeah, it's hard to train your brain to do some other shit. I'm getting a little hungry, but I want to continue, so I'm gonna throw some food in the oven right quick, and I'll be right back. So this dude wants us to do like build it up from like really simple building blocks essentially. So there's like a tiered system he's using. Let me just get my effects in order real quick. So sweep picking, as the name suggests, you're using the pick to like sweep across the strings, right? And essentially you can, if you manage to get your fingers in some complex shapes, you can make some cool noises. So he wants to start with this little like fragment of a minor arpeggio so that we can practice that sweep motion. Right. So it wants to start with go down. So you sweep the top part, one motion. And then you do this downward stroke. And if you know the rest of the arpeggio shape, you can see where it's heading. It's gonna but you're not trying to do like a downstroke. It's supposed to be like one fluid motion, and that's the difficult part of sweep picking. It's like kind of, it's hard to wrap your brain around that after like years of up and down and just like downstrokes and all of that. Bro, it's a good technique to practice, so we're gonna work on it. Alright, so now he's combining those two. And I feel like for me, for some reason, I feel like it'd be easier if I just did the whole shape right out the gate. But we'll follow along with his little situation here. So he's kind of he's not really picking this part. He just does a hammer on and a hammer and a pull off. So it's like. Alrighty, that's what I expected, so. Oh, no, I did it wrong. For sweep picking, so I gotta go all the way down. Like I want to, but it's up. It's up stroke. That's not like impossible, but it's just a little odd to wrap my head around. You know what I mean? Like you're going, I mean, that's not what he's trying to do, but like what I've naturally progressed into is that you do the minor arpeggio into the major arpeggio. So it's like da 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 da. really wants us to like take apart each of these phrases and practice them individually. Alrighty, I got this shit, man. So it's all downstrokes, and then it's all upstrokes. Oh, now you're switching that shit up because he knows you've been. Alright, so we practice that shape. Then we're gonna go down to here. Alright, so it's a minor shape here. And down we go to the 10, which is G. And then we do G major in the C chord shape. Pretty cool, pretty cool. See, I don't want to give up on this practice right now, but I think what I'll do is I'll take my food out of the oven and I'll let it sit so it keeps all the juices inside. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Yeah. I'll be back. So yeah, I mean, I think the sweep picking could probably combine that with the arpeggio practice at some point, like, you know what I mean? We're already using arpeggios with like that big extended major 7th 4-note arpeggio. We could try to work our way up to sweep picking that one, and then that would sound really cool. But for now, we got these minor and major shapes we're sweep picking. Definitely not the best sweep picker, but not the worst. Hold up. Let's put a little bit of distortion on this, and then you can get that classic. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm really doing the sweep picking all that well. There's room for improvement. We can put that into the routine. That's how he does it. the low rolls of the way. Fuck. I like it when you, like, this is not common in modern music because people are way less intelligent these days. But it's always cool when you do, like, you go major to minor of the same chord. I used to put that in a lot of, like, 60s music, you know what I mean? Like the Beatles, like, In My Life. Basically the same concept, but with these major and minor arpeggios, and with the sweep picking, so you're like. Follow along with us. Yeah. Alright, I think we'll pretty much reach the, like, I feel like I want to complete this video, but it's like, my interest is waning, because I'm pretty hungry. But this arpeggio practice, we should do a recap. We did the spider walk, we had good arpeggio practice, we're doing sweep track picking, we worked on the minor scale with the 3-note and 4-note strings, and we also did some pentatonic practice. So that, what more could you want? I think tomorrow we're going to do Locrian, and we're going to go into like a bunch of diminished chords and shit like that. And then, since we're going to be going into diminished chords, the question is, when it comes to diminished chords, like, well, when the fuck do you use them? And so we'd probably be looking into information about chord progressions too. So stay tuned. It's gonna be exciting stuff. It's pretty exciting.